I think it's time for them to start and reaping the benefits of the work they've done. And it's good to see them guys have fun, and that's the main thing. You don't want to do all the work that they have to do week in and week out and not be able to go out and perform. So proud of those guys, and that was last week. Now we got to move forward.
Coach McGriff said after the game that it was, with Marquise, it was a matter of saying, hey, think pass first and run second. Obviously, it worked for him.
Yeah, I think coaching-wise, I think sometimes we overcoach kids, and I think you got to take a step back and see what he does best, and that's what we did as a staff, and we got good results. He's a kid who can run, he can rush, and we kind of simplified it for him and let him go play football.
Talk about moving Breland to defensive end and what that's done for you.
I think that's been really good, and that came about the same way with Marquise. I mean, he was one of the better players, and we had to get the best for on the field. And moving Breland out there was a good decision, and he's had a good time. He's played well. So we got a best for starting, and we'll obviously rotate people after that. But he's done a good job for us.
Freddie, what about the job Josiah Coutney has done this year?
He's done really good. He's one that, unless you look at the stats, you really don't recognize, but he's been consistent week in and week out. He had a really good spring, fall camp. He practiced really well, and we moved him up, and he's done a good job of being a leader for us.
What did you think of the snaps you got from Austrian and Ross the other day?
Ross did really well. I thought Ross played hard. He had a couple mistakes, but overall he did really good. Austrian, those two guys have been really big for us, and a lot of people may not recognize it, but they've done a really good job.
We've seen you guys defensively, defense, not just your group, but we'll see you guys hold up several plays in a row against the run, and then all of a sudden there's an explosive play, a long run. How do you coach these guys? And
it goes back to what I've said since I got here. You got to be consistent, and that's the hardest thing to do in life, whether it's you and I waking up in the morning doing the same thing over and over and over again, or those kids out there striking blocks and being in their gap. I think everybody in the world struggles with consistency, and that's something that we've been teaching here that we've got to continue to get better at.
Talk a little bit about the LSU front. Offensive line, and then the challenge of Darius Geis.
They're big up front, very physical. The running back does a good job of running the ball. He is a really good running back. We got our work cut out, but again, it's about us. It's about what we do, how we can improve from last week.
Where do you think you guys are in that consistency? Are you taking steps?
I think we are. I think every week has gotten better, and we got to be able to go 4, 5, 6 plays and be consistent at our job. And it's just little things. I don't think people realize how much little things affect a ball game, and we got to continue to harp on that and demand it. And when you do that, you start seeing it, seeing these players get better at it.
After Breland and Marquise, how do you feel about the defensive end rotation? I know you guys are down 2 with Victor.
Yeah, it's like I said in the beginning, it's going to take us all. And, this is the SEC. It's no different than when I played to now. It's going to take us all. And those guys are held to the same standards as the ones. And the 3s are held to the same standard as the 2s and the 1s. So I don't need a drop-off when it comes to those guys. They got to be able to perform just like Breland and Marquise and all the rest of those guys.
So is Mark Hellwinter, is he going to be a guy that kind of gets more reps?
Yes, he got reps last week. I was proud of him. He's growing up, and he understands what is expected. And we're going to continue to harp on consistency until we get it.
And Ryder is be the other.
He's the other one, absolutely.